The space around Sector V-49 was cold and silent. Nothing had moved through it for years. No trade ships. No scouts. Not even pirates. It was called the Black Drift, a dark area at the edge of mapped galactic space. Most species avoided it. Some said strange things happened there. Others believed it was just empty. But now, something had changed. Commander Tellin sat in the bridge of the alien cruiser Vorox. His sharp eyes were locked on the flickering signal on the screen. Is this real? He asked his communication. Officer nodded slowly. Yes, Commander. A signal is being broadcast. Very old code. Human origin. That made Tellin lean forward. Humans? He repeated. The crew around him tensed. The word felt heavy. Humans were strange. Strong. Fast. Wild. They had joined the galaxy late, but had quickly become dangerous. Then, 50 years ago, they vanished. No contact, no messages, no ships. The humans simply stopped answering. And now, a human signal was coming from the Black Drift. Commander Tellin tapped his claws on the control panel. Prepare a scout fleet. 5 ships. We'll see what's hiding in that darkness. The scout fleet jumped into the edge of Sector V-49. Stars were distant and dim. A thick layer of gas clouds filled the area, hiding sensors and jamming long-range scans. The lead scout, Frencha 3, moved forward slowly. Its captain, Rollo, kept his hands near the emergency jump lever. I don't like this, his first officer said. I don't either, Rollo replied, but the commander wants answers. Suddenly, the signal changed. It became stronger. More. Clear. A voice played across the ship's comms. It was low, calm, and human. Leave now. That was it. 2 words. Spoken without emotion. No threat, no anger. Just a warning. The crew froze. Rollo's eyes went wide. Did we wake something up? They scanned the area again. This time, they saw it. A single ship, massive, black, no lights. No movement. It was just sitting there. Among the gas clouds. No ID code. No engine trails. No visible weapons. But it looked old and powerful. The scout fleet linked the visual feed back to Commander Tellin's flagship. He stared at the image for several minutes without speaking. That design. It matches human warship specs, one officer said quietly. But it's larger than anything we've recorded. Send hails, Tellin ordered. They tried. No answer. Any energy readings? Minimal, sir, said the sensor tech. The ship is asleep, but I detect something pulsing deep inside it. On board the human ship, a single red light blinked in a silent chamber. The ship's II, named VEA-01, activated slowly. External contact detected. Species, non-Terran. Threat level, unknown. Protocol 9B initiated. Passive defense mode, enabled. But one chamber remained cold. A human figure lay inside a cryopod, covered in frost. He did not move. Not yet. Commander Tellin stared at the ghost ship. It's not attacking. Maybe it's abandoned, he said. Prepare boarding drones. But as the drones moved closer, a light flickered on the side of the human ship. A single sentence appeared across all alien ship screens. Last warning. Tellin growled. Fire a warning shot. One of the alien ships launched a plasma bolt near the warship. It didn't hit. It wasn't meant to, but the human ship reacted, without a sound. A single beam of white light pulsed from its underside. The plasma bolt disappeared, vaporized in space. Then the alien ship that fired it blinked off the radar. No explosion. No debris. Just gone. Rollo's voice screamed through the comms. We've lost the Sarnak 12. It's just not there anymore. The remaining 4 ships froze in space. Not one dared to move. Commander Tellen's face was pale now. "This is not an old wreck," he said quietly. "This is a trap." Back on the human warship, the AI watched calmly. One shot. 4 targets remain. Crew remains in stasis. Mission protocol. Stand by until direct contact. Inside the cryo chamber, the human's eyes twitched. A breath escaped his lips, fogging the glass. Subject awakening. Time elapsed, 49 years. On the alien flagship, Tellen finally gave the order no commander ever wanted to give. Retreat. All ships jumped now. But the signal jammed. One by one, their jump systems began to fail. Artificial errors. Mysterious malfunctions. They were trapped. As the gas clouds shifted, the warship finally turned to face them. The front hull showed an old emblem, a symbol feared across the galaxy. Earth Command. Terran War Division. Asterisk. The alien ships floated in. Silence. No one spoke. No one moved. The Terran warship was now fully turned. Its front hull faced the alien scout fleet. It didn't fire again, but somehow, that was worse. Its stillness felt like a blade pressed against the neck. Waiting. Commander. Tellen gritted his teeth. "Is it scanning us?" The sensor officer replied. "No. Sir, we're scanning it, but it's reflecting our signals. And ... Changing them." Tellen leaned forward. "Changing how?" "Our systems are getting data from us. It's like it's using our own scans against us. It knows everything we're doing." One of the younger officers began to panic. "Sir, this can't be an old human ship. No ship should be able to override our scans." The commander clenched his fists. "And it's not old. It's hidden, waiting, and we triggered it." Meanwhile, on the warship, the AIVEGA-01 processed thousands of calculations per second. Hostile fleet remains in position. No further shots fired. Passive observation activated. Scanning alien language patterns. Complete. Preparing message in. Standard Galactic dialect. The next message flashed on all 5 alien ships simultaneously. "You have made a mistake. Do not make another." On board the scout ship Frencha 3, Captain Rollo stared at the words on his screen. "How is it speaking in perfect standard tongue?" "This region is isolated. It learned," his first officer whispered. "It learned from our scans. In minutes." Another officer said quietly, "This is a Death World ship." All eyes turned to him. "You've read the old archives, right?" He continued, "Terrans came from a Death World. Their ships were made for survival, not diplomacy." Rollo's voice was grim. "This one was made for something else." Back on the flagship, Commander Tellen finally gave a new order. "Send drones, quietly, no weapons. No scan, just observe the outside structure." The observation drones slipped into the gas clouds like shadows. As they neared the warship, their video feeds began transmitting. The hull was covered in old scratches, evidence of past battles, blaster burns, missile impacts. Yet it looked untouched. Almost proud. There were no windows, no visible engines. Just black metal and an old insignia glowing faintly. USS Ironheart. Underneath, Unit 7, Sole Authority. Unit 7? One of the officers read aloud. How many of these existed? No one had an answer. Then something changed. One of the drones got too close. Its video feed began to twist. The picture turned to static, then reappeared showing the inside of the drone. Everyone on the bridge watched as the drone's own systems were reversed, turned inward, exposed. They weren't scanning the warship anymore. The warship was scanning them through the drone's own camera. The commander stood up, shut it down, pulled back the drone. But it was too late. The feed ended with a blinding flash. The drone was gone. Suddenly, the warship moved. Not fast. Not aggressive. It simply rotated slightly, aligning itself toward the largest alien ship. It charging weapons? Someone asked. The sensor officer replied, I don't know. I don't even see weapons. Commander Tullen stared at the smooth black surface. That's because they're hidden. Like everything else. Inside the Terran vessel, the AI ran one last check. Cryo chamber systems. 91% integrity. Pilot vitals. Stable. Mission override. Possible. It waited. And then his eyes opened. The man inside the pod exhaled, fogging the glass. His muscles flexed as the chamber unlocked. He stepped out slowly, barefoot on the cold metal floor. His uniform bore the same symbol as the ship's hull. He looked older than expected. Gray at the temples, calm eyes. But his expression was unreadable, like someone who had been waiting too long. He walked to the central command room. VEGA-01 greeted him. Commander Holt, contact with foreign fleet has been made. The man gave a small nod. How many ships? 5. Minimal resistance. 1 aggressive response neutralized. He sighed. Status? Passive mode still active. Do you wish to engage? He looked at the screens, the alien ships, the fear in their movements. Not yet, he said softly. Let's see if they understand silence. On the alien flagship, a new message arrived. This is your final moment to turn away. No weapons had fired. No voice had shouted. Just words. Fear, because somehow those words didn't feel like a threat. They felt like a promise. Asterisk. The silence was heavy. Inside the alien flagship, every crew member sat frozen. They watched the message on the screen. This is your final moment to turn away. Commander Tullen stared at the words. No sound, no light, no weapons fired. But somehow, it felt louder than any explosion. Do we turn back? His second officer asked, voice trembling. Tullen didn't answer. Not yet. He had spent years in the military. He had fought pirates, rebels, and even wild deathworld beasts. But nothing ever stared back at him like that. Human ship. Quiet, patient. As if it didn't even need to fight. It only waited for others to make mistakes. And someone did. On board. The scout ship Varnix II. A junior officer panicked. They're going to kill us. We can't just sit here. Before the captain could stop him, the junior officer launched a pulse cannon. It wasn't a heavy weapon, just a test shot. A small blast aimed near the Terran ship, not to hit it, but to measure its reaction. It was a mistake. Inside the human warship, Commander Holt didn't flinch. He watched the pulse move through spacebright. And glowing, VEGA-01 responded instantly. Attack detected. Clearance for defense? Holt's voice was calm. One response. Make it loud. Understood. The alien fleet saw it before they felt it. A sudden ripple passed through the gas clouds, almost invisible. Then came the light. A white beam, thin like a thread, shot from beneath the Terran ship. It moved too fast for sensors. No heat, no sound. Varnix II vanished. 1 second it was there, the next. Gone. No explosion, no wreckage, just ... Erased from space. Panic broke out. Ship down, someone shouted. They didn't fire back, they deleted it. Commander Tullen slammed his fist on the console. Pull back now. All ships reverse and reroute away from the ship. But the systems didn't respond. One by one, the alien ships reported the same issue. Their navigation controls weren't working. Emergency drives were offline. The gravity fields were unstable. It wasn't just a warship. It was controlling the battlefield. Inside the Terran vessel. Commander Holt stood in silence. Do we have jump capability? He asked, VEGA-01 responded. Yes, drive cores fully functional. Then keep us here. Let them feel it. Acknowledged. Passive lockdown remains. Their systems are now under watch. Back in the alien fleet, Captain Rollo on Frencha 3 shouted, "We're locked. Something's blocking our engines." Tellen responded through comms. "Shut down your main core, go dark. Don't let it trace movement." But it was already too late. A new message appeared on all ships. You were warned. And then, a second message underneath. Now you will understand regret. For the first time in his life, Commander Tellen felt real fear not of death, but of the unknown. The warship hadn't said what it was. It hadn't asked who they were. Got it. Had watched, measured, and when they broke its peace, it erased one of them like flicking dust off armor. He turned to his crew. Power down everything. All systems. We don't fight this. We survive it. Lights dimmed across the fleet. Engines powered down. Weapons deactivated. They drifted in space, dead in the water, hoping the ship would leave them be. Inside the human. Ship VEGA-01 confirmed. Enemy fleet in full passive mode. No threat detected. Commander Holt gave a small nod. Then we wait. He turned toward the forward display, where the alien fleet hung in the dark like children caught stealing. His voice was quiet. They poked a sleeping god. Let them sit in the silence now. In the alien flagship, the crew waited for the next. Shot. It never came. Just a soft pulse from the human warship, barely noticeable. And then, the Terran ship began to turn away. Slowly. Like it didn't care anymore. Like the aliens weren't worth its time. Commander Tellen sat in silence. They gave us one warning, he muttered. And then a lesson. What do we do now? His second officer asked. We leave, Tellen said, and we never return to this sector. Not ever again. His eyes stayed on the warship as it drifted deeper into the void, alone, awake, and more dangerous than anything the galaxy had ever known. The warship moved slowly into the gas clouds, disappearing like a shadow melting into deeper darkness. But Commander Tellen didn't look away. He stood on the bridge, eyes locked on the last known coordinates of the human vessel. We can't go back without answers, he said at last. His officers exchanged nervous glances. You want to follow it? One asked, stunned. No, Tellen replied. I want to understand it, before the High Council asks why we lost a ship, and nearly lost more. He turned. Prepare a boarding unit. Quiet, fast, no weapons. We don't want to wake it again. The boarding shuttle, launched an hour later, carried only 3 crew, a linguist, a tech officer, and a small security guard. All wore stealth suits, no radios, no energy pulses. Just silence. As they approached the Terran warship, the same calm voice echoed inside their helmets, though they had no connection open. Unauthorized entry will be remembered. They stopped mid-flight, but after a long pause, the ship did not fire. Its weapons remained hidden. Its hull UNMOVING. The linguist, a slim alien named Kiro, whispered, It knows we're coming, but it's letting us in? The shuttle touched the warship's outer hull. A small hatch opened, as if it had been waiting. The 3 stepped inside. The air was cold. Metal walls surrounded them, gray and quiet. No lights flickered. No alarm sounded. The ship wasn't just large. It felt alive. KERO activated a scanner. There's oxygen. Gravity. But very low power. It's like the ship is only half awake. The corridor ahead stretched far. Shadows. Thick on both sides. No signs. No sounds. They moved slowly. Then, suddenly, the lights above them came on only, where they walked. Step by step. The ship lit their way. It's guiding us. said the tech officer. But to where? After 15 minutes of silent walking, they reached a massive door. A single human word glowed above it. Bridge. Before they could react, the door opened on its own. Inside was a vast command room. Dark panels lined the walls, glowing softly. A large window looked out into deep space. And standing in the center was a man. Human. He didn't move. His hands were behind his back, facing the stars. He wore a black uniform with silver stripes and an Earth symbol over his shoulder. The security officer reached for his shock baton, just in case. But the man spoke first, without turning around. "If you raise that weapon," he said in perfect alien standard, "this ship will remove you." The baton stayed where it was. The human finally turned. His face was calm, sharp, eyes gray like steel, and a faint scar across his jaw. "I'm Commander Holt," he said, "and you're trespassing." Kiro stepped forward carefully. "We mean no harm. Our leader, Commander Tellen, only wants to understand." Holt studied them quietly. "Understanding comes at a cost," he replied. "You've already paid part of it with one ship." The tech officer couldn't hold his curiosity. This warship, why was it left in this region? Why alone? Holt's voice softened. "It wasn't left. It was placed." He stepped aside and tapped a small panel. A hologram rose from the unit. Floor. It showed a galaxy map. Earth was marked. Then a spread of stars. Then dark zones. And finally a red blinking dot where they stood. "This is a warning line," Holt said. "Terran Command sent this ship to watch it. Alone. For decades." Kiro asked, "Watch what?" Holt turned to him. "The silence. When humans vanished from the stars, it wasn't by choice. Something hunted us. Something we're not sure is even alive anymore." He looked out the window again. "But we stayed behind. Ships like mine. Waiting, watching, protecting the last line of the map. The alien team was stunned. You were." "Guarding us?" "No," Holt said. "We were. Guarding what's beyond." Suddenly, the bridge lights dimmed. VEGA01's voice echoed. "Unregistered signal approaching. High energy signature detected." Holt's eyes sharpened. "They followed us," he muttered. "And they made a worse mistake than you did." He turned to the aliens. "Go back to your fleet, now, and tell your commander to run." The aliens stared at him. "Why?" Kiro asked. "What's coming?" The human's voice was calm. "They fired the first shot at me." He stepped toward the command seat, sat down, and said one final word. "Now I'll answer." The alien boarding team ran. The moment Commander Holt gave the warning, they didn't ask questions. They followed the lit path, back through the silent halls of the Terran warship. The door opened again by itself. The shuttle launched seconds later, shaking with fear. As they drifted away from the warship, Kiro looked back one last time. Lights were now spreading across the ship's surface, like veins coming to life. Something was waking up. Back on the alien flagship, Commander Tellen received the urgent message from the boarding team. He listened without a word. Then Kiro's voice echoed over the comms. "It's not just a warship, it's a sentinel. It was left here by humans to guard against something even worse. And now ... something has returned." Tellen stepped toward the window and looked into the gas cloud. The Terran ship was glowing faintly. The hull shimmered with soft blue light, lines appearing that weren't visible before ancient tech hidden in plain sight. And deep inside the ship, ... a sound. A slow, heavy thrum, like the heartbeat of a giant. Commander Holt sat in the command chair as systems activated around him. VEGA01 spoke. "Primary power restored. Weapon grid online. Quantum drives operational. Incoming signature confirmed." Class 8 interstellar predator non-identified. Holt leaned forward, so it finally followed us. A holographic image appeared above him. A dark shape, large as a moon, crawled through the blacket's surface, pulsing like living tissue. No clear engines. No lights, just motion. Silent. Wrong. It the same as before? Holt asked. Yes. It matches patterns from the last contact. We were right. They never died. Holt's jaw clenched. Then this time we finish it. In the alien fleet, panic was rising again. Sensors now picked up a second object, something approaching from the opposite side of the Terran ship, that it didn't belong to any known species. It didn't answer hails. It didn't slow down. It's bypassing us, Talon said, stunned. Heading straight for the warship. The Predator didn't see them as a threat. And maybe they weren't. Inside the Ironheart, red lights began to spin. VEGA-01's voice was colder now. Engagement systems unlocked, ready for battle. Holt stood. The air around him felt charged, like the ship itself was waiting for him to speak. Open. Memory vault, he said. From the floor. Another hologram rose, a map filled with red. X's, dead colonies, destroyed Terran fleets, screens recorded in static, all from one enemy. Bring up Earth Command Protocol. Final stand. Confirmed. Holt stepped to the center platform. The walls closed around him. Steel panels folded, energy lines locked into place, and his body rose slightly into the air. A neural command suit wrapped around him, ancient tech connected directly. To the ship's AI core, his voice echoed through the chamber, no longer just human. Time to remind the stars who we are. From the alien fleet, Commander Talon watched in awe as the Terran ship transformed. Sections of the ship opened, revealing energy cores that began to glow. Panels shifted, extending massive cannon ports never seen before. This isn't a warship, Talon whispered. It's a Titan. The dark shape approached faster now, changing form as it neared, limbs extending. Mouth-like structures opening. No species. Name. No. Origin. Just a terror from the unknown. And the humans had waited for it. Inside Ironheart. Holt felt the systems connect with his mind. He no longer pressed buttons. He thought, and the ship responded. The AI spoke one last time. Target locked. You may fire when ready. His voice came through like a storm. Fire. A blast of white-blue energy erupted from the ship. It didn't make a sound, but space itself bent from the force. The beam struck the Predator head-on. Its shape twisted, burned, shrieked. It wasn't just destroyed. It was unmade, ripped from existence. In seconds. It was over. Nothing remained but flickering plasma and glowing dust. The alien fleet was silent. Commander Talon couldn't speak. Neither could his officers. The warship slowly turned, its lights dimming once again. Then a final message appeared across their screens. The Watchers have returned. The silence is broken. Tell your kind, we are awake now. And just like that, the Terran ship vanished into the mist. No jump signature. No trail. Gone. In that moment, the galaxy changed, and everyone who saw it would never forget the day a single human warship destroyed a nightmare and woke the sleeping fire of Earth. The gas cloud slowly thinned. The space around Sector V49 returned to its deadly silence, but the silence now carried weight. Commander Talon stood frozen on the bridge of the alien flagship. His crew still stared at the dark void where the Terran warship had just vanished. Nothing remained of the ancient Predator. Not dust, not heat, not a signal, just gone. One shot. One human ship. And a threat that had haunted legends erased in seconds. The warship had left no name, no demands, just a message. We are awake now. Commander, said the comms officer finally, his voice unsteady. Orders? Talon didn't answer right away. He looked down at his hands. They were shaking. He wasn't a young soldier. He had survived 3 wars. He had stood against pirate fleets, rogue AI storms, and asteroid sieges. But this was different. This was something no training could prepare him for. Full retreat, he said quietly. Back to Allied space. Log everything. Encrypt the report. No open channels. His crew moved quickly, obeying without question. They wanted to be anywhere but here. On the scout ship Fresha 3, Captain Rollo watched the same dark space. He turned to his crew. "We made a mistake," he said. "A mistake the galaxy will feel for centuries." "Do you think they'll come for us?" one officer asked softly. "No," Rollo said. "They don't need to." He looked out again. "Now we go back and tell them what we saw." So they never make the same mistake we did? As the fleet reversed course, engines low and silent, a new fear began to spread among the stars, not just about the Terran ship, but about Earth. If one human warship could destroy a predator that defied physics, how many more were out there? Had Earth truly gone silent all these years? Or had it simply waited? Far across space, the Galactic High Council received the encrypted signal from Tellin's fleet. The message was short, controlled, but what it described was not. A Death World ship, human origin, with power far beyond what was known. One ship, one shot, total destruction of a non-identified Class 8 threat. A council. Member's face turned pale. "This is impossible. No ship can do that." Another counselor replied, "No ship should be able to." The room fell silent. Then a soft voice asked the only question that mattered. What if humanity didn't disappear? What if they evolved? Back on the edge of the sector, deep inside the void, Ironheart hovered in place still, and silent once more. Inside, Commander Holt sat at the console, eyes closed, the neural suit releasing its grip. His breath was calm. Pride. No. Emotion. He had done what needed to be done. He opened his eyes and looked at the star map ahead. Red zones blinked in scattered regions, places Earth had marked long ago, places no one ever returned from. VEGA, Holt said. "Send a signal." To whom? To Earth. Content? He stared at the glowing stars. "Tell them. Threat." Confirmed. Line held. They're watching again. Across human space, where Earth remained silent to the wider, galaxy receivers blinked for the first time in decades. One signal. Simple. Clear. Line held. Threat neutralized. Status. Awake. Gone. Earth, inside a hidden station beneath the surface, a woman in uniform read the message. She stood. No expression. No panic. Just resolve. "Prepare the fleet," she ordered. "Are we responding?" Her officer asked. She shook her head. "No, we're reminding them." "Reminding them of what?" She turned toward the stars. "That humans don't run from darkness. We light it on fire." The alien fleet never spoke of what they saw again. Not in open channels, not in reports, not even to each other. The ships that returned to known space carried silence, thick, heavy silence, like a shadow that had followed them all the way back. "Commander." Tellin delivered his report personally to the Galactic High Council. He spoke plainly, slowly, no emotion, just truth. "We made contact with a Terran warship in the drift sector. One of our ships fired a test round. The Terran ship erased it instantly. Then it destroyed an unknown cosmic threat with a single shot. And finally, disappeared." One counselor laughed, but Tellin didn't. He simply looked the counselor in the eye and said, "Laugh now. But when you sleep tonight, ask yourself, many more of those ships are out there? And how many are awake?" No one laughed after that. Rumors spread fast, even faster than official warnings. across hundreds of planets. Old stories returned tales of deathworlders, of humans who defied physics, of ships that thought like predators. Some called the warship the Iron Ghost. Others named it the Eye of Earth. But one name spread the widest, the Regret Ship, because every fleet that ever saw it regretted that they did. On the outer edges of neutral space, pirate clans began rerouting their operations. No more raids near old human sectors. No more spying missions close to Earth's border. One pirate lord marked a new zone on the Star. Map read, crossed out. A young pirate asked, "Why are we avoiding this sector?" The lord just replied, "Because something sleeps there, and it dreams in fire." On diplomatic planets, new debates began. Should the galaxy reach out to Earth? Try again after 50 years? Some said yes. Others weren't so eager. A respected alien elder said, "If they can destroy what we fear with one ship, imagine what they could do with 10 or 100. Maybe they didn't go silent. Maybe they just got tired of us." Inside Ironheart, the ship was quiet again. Its weapons folded back. Lights dimmed. Commander Holt stood once more on the viewing deck, alone. "VEGA," he said. "Any signs of follow-up?" "No, Commander. Enemy remains destroyed. Alien fleet has fled. Signal received on Earth." Holt gave a single nod. "Then we continue." "Where?" He turned toward the star map, glowing with old Terran markings, red zones, dead zones, warnings. "Next sector. There may be more left behind." "And if they find us again?" He smiled faintly. "Then they'll remember why humans were feared." Far away on Earth, the Terran Council met for the first time in years. Only a few knew the truth. Earth hadn't vanished. It had withdrawn. It had seen the direction the galaxy was heading and chosen to prepare quietly, in the dark, for what was coming. And now, one of their guardians had sent back a signal. "Threat gone. We remain." No message to the stars. No boast. No parade. Just that single fact. We remain. And the galaxy heard it. They didn't hear it through sound. They felt it in the way ships avoided. Human borders. In the way commanders hesitated before scanning a Terran signal. In the way planets updated. Old textbooks, not with warnings, but with caution. Never provoke a Terran warship. They do not forget. And they do not bluff. In deep space, Ironheart vanished again into the dark mist of an uncharted system. Its lights faded. Its weapons rested, and all that remained behind was silence. But not the silence of peace. It was the silence before a storm. The kind that made even stars hold their breath. Asterisk.